Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
In this outstanding April update adventure, I'll give you a tour focusing on the off-grid hybrid 2.0K with 2 charge controllers and a surplus of solar panels that sustains the refrigerator and almost the air conditioner. Alright, we all remember the old e-bike? Well, this has nothing to do with that. I'm going to get the phone off of its holder where it gets the best reception for hotspot modem. Unplug it from its dedicated DC charger so we can do an off-grid hybrid update. I've got a lot of big changes to show you, and let's go ahead and try to do this as quickly as possible. First of all, we're going to start off with the old charge controller that seems to get stuck in absorption mode, so it only puts out about half what it's supposed to after I added all the new panels that I'll show you later downhill. I got some extra panels that I put up on the roof for shade and to collect at the end of the day, and it's connected to this other charge controller that I was using as a voltmeter. I got a new modern battery charger that hooks up to the generator to top off the batteries when the solar panels don't meet the demand, mostly on cloudy days. I got the big inverter. I've got the 2 big batteries. It's all 24 volt. And then as we go around, back inside of here is a 24 volt to 12 volt converter that's supposed to be about 60 amps. Then we've got my DC panel and my AC panel. That 12 volt step down converter, 24 to 12 volt step down converter bypasses the internal RV converter that does 120 to 12 volt, and I physically have it disconnected and the breaker taped off so it can't accidentally come on. If I ever use this as a regular RV, on regular house power, then I would obviously undo all this and connect it back to 12 volts, but it does work. It works good, actually. I've refurbished it. Anyway, so 12 volts goes out to the lights, the water pump, the furnace, and from all the light circuits, I've got all my DC fans connected. All right, on the AC panel, we got the big cord that goes outside and connects to either, shore power, or right now it's connected to the generator. That's why it's turned off, because with the inverter turned on right now, if I turn this on, it sends power live through that male connector, and since it's plugged into the generator, it actually tries to turn the generator over, believe it or not, and then stalls out the inverter since it's not powerful enough. That's the rooftop air conditioner, which kind of works, kind of doesn't. I don't know what exactly to do about this. I'll explain that later, but for the most part, I'll leave that off because I got a really good, efficient air conditioner up on the wall that works the best. This goes to this outlet here, which is a GFCI. From this outlet, it goes to the hot water heater outlet, that outlet, and that outlet. The air conditioner is plugged into that outlet. The hot water heater outlet is literally wired up to this hookup right here. So when the inverter's on, it's back feeding through the hot water heater outlet into the main box. The second breaker on next to the living room, which is the inverter in basically, and living room out when the generator's on. This right here goes to the outlet behind here, and the other refrigerator outlet right here. And I went ahead and added in this GFCI outlet here, and it's got another wire that runs over here with another outlet that I'm gonna put in the wall after I get done with my countertop. Since I moved it up, I had to get rid of the outlet and just put the wire away for now. Anyway, and then the hot water heater goes to this last breaker right here all by itself. That's a hot water heater all by itself, and I went ahead and upgraded it to a 10 gauge wire and put me a nice big heavy duty switch right there so I can turn it on and off from inside if I want to, although the circuit breaker will do the same thing. Anyway, now when I need to charge the battery, or I want to run everything off of the generator, I start the generator, leave that off, or I can do this in a different order. But anyway, turn the inverter off if it's not already on, move the cord over to here, start the generator, turn the main breaker on, come back over here. Since this is powering this whole box now with that generator coming back through that hot water heater outlet, electrifies this box with this cord here, and also protects this cord from being live, and also keeps it from back feeding into the inverter, all which cause problems. Electrifies this cord, which runs to this charger. I'm going to make a little switch and everything here, but right now I just got it capped off. But plug the battery into the charger. This goes straight to the 24 volts, you know, one on each terminal of each battery with the wire in between. Anyway, this comes on, hit start button, boom, goes into auto mode up to about, shoot, what was it doing, like 17, 18 amps at 24 volts. So it tops these two batteries off in half hour to an hour. And anyway, these are also electrified, so if I want to while I'm at it, I can plug the e-bike in, and I can plug the tool charger in. Or if I'm using the inverter and I got plenty of power, I can plug the e-bike battery or charger in here, and I can plug the tool charger in here. Turned out to be a really fantastic setup, and I sure hope those DC fans didn't make too much noise to ruin the audio on that. Anyway, speaking of the DC fans, with the step down converter in there, electrifying everything properly for 12 volts inside of here, I went ahead and spliced into the wires hookup to get my DC charger, another high-speed DC charger for my tablet and whatever else I need over here. I went ahead and ran 12 volts over here to this little amplifier, so I've got a low consumption device that, but puts out decently, which is hooked up to these KLHs in the corner, and these little off-brand speakers. I forgot to mention the Bose speaker. It runs off of 12 volts as well, so I went ahead and put a little 8mm barrel connector identical to the other little DC audio amplifier, and it runs right off of the battery converter to charge it up and maintain it as well. And it's been an amazing little pocket sound bar that goes with me everywhere and jams out in here when I don't want to turn everything on or waste a lot of batteries. Really been a fantastic thing. All right, and then of course there's the big surround sound. I don't know if I mentioned, but it's hooked up to a big powered subwoofer over in the corner, a couple of band passes, and another one, and of course the speakers all around. And then J&K always sit there and make a bunch of sound. I've got a little Bluetooth dongle to plug into it if I want to use it on the tablet, or it plugs in to that HDMI audio adapter for the computer that goes out the headphone jack and optical, or HDMI out from the HDMI jack on my computer, because the headphone jack on that thing's fried. Anyway, so TV, laptop, everything's all working off the 120 volts. I still haven't figured out how to hook this up to DC to DC yet. I may never be able to do it with that laptop. Might have to do it with something different. Anyway, with these fans, same thing. Wired it into the 12 volt light. But what I did with all these fans is I got these little speed controllers to adjust the speed. I put a little switch on them. And then what I did with these outlets is I hollered them out so I could plug one or two fans. I'm actually going to paint them red and black and red and black, but what I can do is I can take this out, spin it around, and plug it back in and reverse it. And it's actually super handy right here in front over the stove. It pulls everything right out, and it doesn't leave any heat inside to make it any hotter than it already is. These fans is less important, but I
Went ahead and started and finished it. Same with these fans here. You know, like I said, I need to repaint them so they all, but I know they're all DC. But it worked out so much better than, you know, I mean, these things were expensive. These are $4 or $5. You know, getting to $3 or $4 or $5 a piece for these and for the females and stuff. It was just, now let's just do this right here and I can clip them out, wire them however I want. Anyway, same here. Speed controller. This one here, I actually went on the low power negative, brought it into this thermostat, so now I got a thermostat, works kind of like one in the house. So there. Now I got that to shut the fans off at night when it was cooler to keep them from running dead, even though now that I got all this extra energy, it's no longer an issue. All right, let's go run downhill and see what we got going on. Boy, that was a lot of talking, huh, J&K? All right, well, you know, speaking of J&K, let's do explain some of the steps I've taken. This refrigerator, I've had it plugged in for over 2 weeks now off the solar panels. The first week I had to run the generator about a half hour to an hour a day at the end of the day to top this, to, you know, get this thing to run the last cycle and top the batteries off of that battery charger. But since I got all those extra solar panels, especially this one over here collecting energy at the end of the night, I've been able to go just about every day except the cloudiest day that I was high consumption without running the generator at all. So now I'm completely sustainable on the refrigerator right now and the home theater at the same time. I've been able to run this all day and even partially at night, which I couldn't do before.
Outrageous. I am legitimately powering my surround sound and my air conditioner, and it's maintaining almost a full, yeah, pretty much a full charge on the voltmeter off the solar panels. In the middle of the day, I bet it would even do the fridge at the same time, but I'm not going to push it. Pretty amazing. Wow.
I think he's selfish, he's racist, he's misogynist.
How long will it last for the charge controller? Oh, 1 kilowatt. I think we just saw 1 kilowatt officially. There it is, 1 kilowatt. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Like I said, last time this happened though, about 2 minutes, that charge controller started failing. Let's see if it does it again.
So anyway, this gets kind of warm over here with the birds, and in the summer and not running the AC all the time, it can be a bit of a problem. But I found if I put this, little foam panel up here, it helps keep the heat. And I also got these two other fans right here I usually turn on, and it blows and it pushes all the air up and out that direction. Speaking of which, I got my skylights. I got a little shade on that one. I'll show you here in a little bit. But anyway, so that's been a good idea. And I also have a feeling covering this little gap right here, who knows, maybe it helps insulate it, seal it. You wouldn't think so since there's a magnetic seal, but whatever. Anyway, skylights get open now since these two are pretty much under the shade of the trees all day. This one a little over half the day. Gets real bright, real hot. As you can see, the ceiling sagging. I'm going to be re-insulating it and adding everything there. Anyway, I got a solar panel over that to beat the heat, and it's working great. Oh, something else I got a couple of sheets of flooring, tongue and groove that I purchased a few months ago. And what I might do with this is I might actually come out a foot or so with the floor, come straight up, and come out, you know, a foot and a half or so with the ceiling, and make this a straight wall and give me an extra, you know, several cubic feet to work. And if it works out good, maybe I'll do the same on the bedroom, or the opposite. Maybe I'll try the bedroom first, since it'll be less prone to aerodynamic issues if this gets resold as a travel RV. Anywho, let's go outside. And you know what? Sorry. I want to show you this real quick. Look at this thing. My neighbor gave it to me. Spent $20 to install it. Love it. Little piece of artwork. All right. And how about that? My door works like it's supposed to. Opens and closes like a normal door. Doing a pretty good job keeping the place straightened out. Have to take the blower out here every couple of days to get it cleaned up and everything. So let's go take a look, see at the solar panels so you can see what we got going on. There they are. I sure hope the image stabilization helps out with the walking. I guess I'm going to find out when I watch it a little later. Really need a gimbal at this point, huh? Who knows, I'll probably even edit this out. Anyways, yeah, every time I got to reset this thing, it's a walk down here. Anyways, there it is in all its glory. Anyway, there it is in all its glory. 15 panels plus an extra one that's not hooked up because the math doesn't work out right. I just bought 12 of these panels. There's rated at 100 watts. They cost $50 each plus tax and everything. So I spent about 650 bucks on 12 of them. I went ahead and just built this little frame, and I just put big thick deck screws in, two, and just set them down there. And I might take me a couple pieces of metal flashing and run it down like this to secure them, and that'll work for now. Maybe I'll make it out of pressure treated next time, and I'm gonna make the tolerances a lot tighter. There's a little bit too much of a gap in this, but that worked great for something I just literally put together in an hour or so to get the panels up. And that was my previous creation that I'm gonna soon replace. Anyway, I've got these 5 panels, I should say those 5, these 5, and then these 5, because these match, you know. Anyway, so that's 100 watts, or 100 volts, 100 volts, 100 volts, 3 wires, and I got the extra hookup for another circuit. And I had that panel here, and what I did originally was I had 4, 4, 4, and 4, and I had 16 panels, but apparently that charge controller maxes out at 1500, and 1440, or 1440 and 1500 is close enough since they never work at 100% anyway. So I had to just take one of the panels out and drop it down to 3 sets of 5 instead of 4 sets of 4. And because that's a 24 volt panel and 24 volt system, I've got 24 volts up on the roof. I'll explain in a moment. Well, who knows? Maybe you'll enjoy walking through, especially if the stabilization works good. Anyway, it's a 24 volt system on an old PMW or PWM charge controller, and so I got to leave everything stuck at 24 volts. Well, fortunately, that new shattered panel I got working for now is 24 volts, but I can only use 2 of the 100 watt panels in series to make another 24 volts to put both of them in parallel to get the max. So I just literally have no room for that last panel sitting down there at the bottom of the hill. And here's what I'm talking about. I got that for free. Spent about, I don't know, $30 for turpentine and some clear coat to fix it up and maintain it. And it makes an absolutely excellent shade for that. Keeps the roof a lot cooler, and while I'm at it, absorbs some sun at the end of the day. And I want to get these things set a little more like this, but it's just, I gotta do a little more work, and I just set them up here just to make something happen, and they actually work surprisingly well for just tossing it up here and seeing what worked. Anyway, that was another great idea, and so was that, putting that little shade over my air conditioner. All right. Oh, there's my new trailer for my lawnmower side job. I'm gonna put a deck on it, and so I can roll the lawnmower up on it behind the truck to get it to the job site, and then take it off and drive it around on the job site with the tractor. Since I don't have a driver's license, I can't drive. And then we got this gas bike I built that actually runs great. Got that old one. Eventually I might rebuild. But here's the star of the show, the 2 batteries. And see, this is what I got the new charger hooked up with, came with. I don't want to cut that up and keep it, so I ordered a whole bunch of those little connectors on the internet, and I want to make me an actual cord that, you know, connects properly, so I can put that away, because that charger works on 12 volt, works as a power supply. It'll bring batteries back, and it'll, you know, desulfate and everything else. So when I get my lithium phosphate batteries hopefully next month, I'm gonna take those out, take that and desulfate each one of these and try to restore those like new, and then maybe put them in the other camper, storage camper. Anyway, propane tanks and the changeover have been doing absolutely amazing. And I think finally the last thing I'm really going to be working on, oh yeah, I locked that door so I can't accidentally go in when the birds are out. Anyway, and if you notice, I've been keeping my place in really good shape too, nice and organized. Those are probably going to end up out in the storage trailer, giving me even more room. Those drawers are probably going to end up under there. Trash can will probably end up over there with this own little tilt thingy over there, and I'll have all the water lines and everything redone so that they're up against, you know, flat surface and stuff, so it's all open and I don't have to worry about tangling up or bumping any of the hoses. Same with down there. That's going to get completely redone. It's going to get a couple of new sinks. See if we can see them from here. Yeah, there they are. There's the bathroom sink and there's the kitchen sink that I'm going to replace so that the faucets and everything match up. It's going to be real nice. I got that awesome shower head that works great too. It uses a third of the water and it just feels so nice and handy. Anyways, big buddy heater and this little fan been working absolutely amazing off that little hose that I put in. And the last thing I really got to do, there it is the furnace is going under there, and then figure out, most likely I'm going to be, like I said, flattening that floor out, especially when I get the lithium batteries that I don't need a vent, and coming straight up with that wall and just getting rid of all that craziness. I'm done with all these tilted walls and funky space. I got my guest chair in too, that was really nice. And now I got this over here with my little guitar thingy. I roll this thing out, spin it around, plug this in, working on a little table thing going on here, but I can start practicing on my instruments. Have my little keytar back there I've actually been playing on almost every day and been getting really good, especially with my left hand. Find a place to mount my guitars. I'm all set. Oh, I got a nice little DJ box and stand right there that works great for the keyboard too at a yard sale for like 25 bucks. And I got a nice powered speaker I'll have to show later, and a tripod for it for $100. Anyway, what I was doing before I got the fridge going though, icing that cooler I got for free, just had to clean out. And that thing keeps it cold for 4 or 5 days. Still got the washing machine going on. And the oven, another thing that's been just absolutely a life changer, is having this oven working. I don't even really mess anything up. I just put foil down on stuff and toss it in the oven and cook it. Don't even fry anymore. And believe it or not, all of them dishes are pretty clean. I just, you know, as I'm working on this, I got to find places to put them and everything. But look at the wonder. Nice cold air conditioning, a nice frozen freezer full of stuff that I can finally keep all of my goodies in. All right, everybody, I think that is enough for all of my updates and everything, and I think you learned enough about my off-grid hybrid. So I think it's about a really good time that we go ahead and stop.
I hope you enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. That PWM charge controller is terrible. I'm gonna have to get a new charge controller, probably go 100 amp, and maybe I can put that thing on the rooftop panels, and then I'll have 3 charge controllers. It still works at like, 450 watts. That's something. See you next time.